All right, my friends, welcome to the channel. Pledge here, and I'm trying something new today. If you follow my channel, you all know that I am playing and thoroughly enjoying Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm right at 30 hours into the game, and I wanted to do a new thing, like I said, and bring you an early 30-hour mark review of my experience so far in this game. I think this game is worthy of being talked about, man, even at 30 hours in. And also, I just want to remind you that this is only my thoughts and others may not agree with me. And hey man, look, that's perfectly fine. I also want to give you a heads up because obviously anytime I'm talking about a game or reviewing a game, there could potentially be some slight spoilers. However, the gameplay clips and the video clips you'll see will be very early game only, so we should be good there, but I just wanted to throw that out there. When reviewing, I always like to start with performance because I am a PC player, and if the game doesn't run well, it can be very frustrating and very hard for me to like it. But so far in this one, I've only booted up the game, played everything at native. I haven't tweaked any settings, and it has been super smooth. I haven't noticed any game-breaking performance issues when it comes to graphics or frames per second. Like I said, the game feels and looks great. When it comes to lighting though, the game can be extremely dark at nighttime. So I have bumped the gamma settings up a little bit to try to help that out. I haven't really seen a difference though, even moving those sliders up. There was one time I can remember seeing a rock that looked like it was floating off the ground. So there is that, but hey, look, it didn't bother me that much. But to be fair, I'm not out looking for faults in graphics and frame per second, so others may notice flaws when I overlook them because it doesn't matter as much to me as it might for other players. The only thing I really pay attention to is how the gameplay experience feels and looks, and so far for me personally, it has been great. This is a really polished version of the first Kingdom Come Deliverance, which I absolutely loved once I got the feel for it. And when I say polished, it is a nice and shiny polished version. Even the jankiness of the first game grew on me, and I didn't mind it as it was just part of that game, but Warhorse Studios has truly improved the janky feeling in this one, and it is so much smoother in my opinion. As I said, I'm only 30 hours in, so I'm not going to get too much into the story because I know there's a ton of content left to discover, but I will give you the baseline of the game and what you can expect the story to start like. So this game picks up right where the first one left off, as you are thrown back into 15th century Bohemia, and Hans and Henry are on a mission to deliver a letter to Otto von Burgo to question his allegiance to King Sigismund. But things get crazy and go sideways. Several things happen that I really don't want to discuss because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. But we are thrown right into the middle of all this mess. The writing and the voice acting so far have been outstanding. The interactions with the NPCs are on point. The world feels alive. I can already tell it's going to be a fascinating story full of side quests, and I'm really looking forward to continuing this adventure. So as you all know, we play as Henry, who I just love, man, and his character from the first game is transferred right over into this game. So as the first one starts, you're just a measly peasant. Henry knows absolutely nothing. But in this game, at least he has some skills that you have to work with. But the events that take place force us to have to use the progression system to get our character back to where we want him. This progression system is very, very similar to the first one. And I have some knowledge as I have played the first one, but anyways, as you complete tasks and quests, you are rewarded with perk points, which allow you to level your main stats, your secondary stats, your combat. It's a very deep progression system, which requires thought and knowledge of the gameplay mechanics. It can be overwhelming, and it can be a lot to take in. You're working with a very clean menu, though, which consists of the map, the journal inventory, your player crafting. There's a codex where if you need some information or background story of something you can look at, which is very, very cool. But at the same time, this menu is very daunting and intimidating, so take your time to learn the system. It can also be very tricky to navigate within this menu, as there's several things to take in. You also have your groschen count, your player carry weight within that system that you have to manage as well. So it is a lot, and at times I have to admit it's a little frustrating, but it still doesn't take away from the overall experience for me, as it adds to the realism of the game, which I absolutely love. The save system is just like the first game, as well as you have to use savior schnapps and weak savior schnapps, which are potions you can craft or buy in the game to manually save, or you can always use the exit to save the game. This may be frustrating too for some players, as it has been frustrating for me at times as well. Or, hey look, if you're on PC, you can just mod it. I'm just saying. The best thing about this game, though, for me is the open world, and it definitely encourages you to explore, and boy, it's hard for me not to explore. I catch myself walking around and riding around, checking out the landscapes, how beautiful this game is. It's actually hard for me to put together videos for my Let's Play and record episodes to put out on my channel, because look, man, I catch myself just getting lost and wandering around the lands. I'm riding pebbles, and I have my dog Mutt with me, and I'm talking to NPCs. It's a very immersive feeling game, and so it's hard for me to keep my recording short enough, and I'm constantly finding myself editing my videos because my recordings are just way too long because of this immersive feeling that you get in this game. The auto follow feature is fantastic too, man. I honestly choose that and just follow the path, and I'm looking around, just getting lost on pebbles and watching the scenery pass by. It is just so cool to soak in the atmosphere of this game. And as I said, I catch myself talking to a lot of NPCs, which you can pretty much talk to every one of them. And they also offer you quests that you can do, side quests or tasks. Some of what I have experienced in some of these conversations is that they will lead you to other areas or other NPCs that are all intertwined. Not sure how this will all hold out for the rest of the game, but for now it seems that way. So the combat in this one is very similar to the first one as well. The first person perspective makes the battles feel really intense and very engaging. Each encounter feels personal, man. There are some games that I don't like first person, but this one hits different, and I'm okay with it. But you definitely have to take time to learn how to fight. You got to learn the system, learn the perfect block system. You have to manage your stamina. You can fight with a sword, or you can shoot your bow. You can use heavy weapons, pole arms, or even on horseback. I haven't done any of the combat on a horseback, and I have barely shot a bow or crossbow at any enemies. I have done an archery contest, but that's about it when it comes to using archery. With that being said, the combat options are there. If you want to be stealthy or use a bow, you can. If you want to get up close and personal and play as a melee character, you can. However, if you didn't play the first one, the combat system can be very challenging. It does, however, offer a tutorial pretty early on, which is enough to get your feet wet and get you started in the right direction. As far as armor, you will be finding different armor off of defeated foes, or you can buy from merchants, but it gives you the option to build 3 separate full armor sets that you can rotate through on the fly, which I think is really cool. And I haven't done much of that, but I definitely want to start doing that, and I will be looking at building some of these armor sets. Getting back into what really stands out to me in this game is the immersive feeling you can get, and within that comes the survival mechanics. You have to manage Henry's needs, his hunger, his fatigue. You have to rest when he's tired. Man, look, you got to take care of his hygiene. You can't go into town stinking, or people's going to notice you and you'll stick out like a sore thumb. Also, man, look, if you want to be a thief, you have to be careful, bro. You have to, if you steal something in a town and they catch you, they're going to be looking for you, and they'll remember you when you come back to that town, and you'll be locked up or you'll have to pay the fine. That is what I'm talking about when I say the game's immersive feeling is top notch. Now, fair warning, some players may not like the survival mechanics because it can feel very demanding, and some players just aren't going to like it, man, and it's not going to be for everyone. But for me, it's scratching every itch that I have when it comes to RPG. But anyways, you have to understand what you're getting into if you decide to play this game, because it can be a little challenging. So yeah, that's a few things that I have seen and have stuck out to me in the first 30 hours of this game, and I'm loving every minute of it, man. Look, I don't mind getting lost in this world and figuring things out. There are a few quests that I've done that have been really frustrating and nitpicky though, but it's simply because the game doesn't hold your hand and you have to figure out ways to do things your own way. So many different ways to get things done. But again, that brings the immersive feeling into this game, and for me personally, I love it. They've definitely improved the mechanics and the gameplay and the visuals, and I think they've done an outstanding job. I'm 30 hours in, and I'm absolutely wanting more, and that's exactly what a good game should feel like, if you ask me. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this game. I hope you guys have enjoyed this early thoughts or early reviews and whatever you may call it. I hope you guys can take something from it. Maybe it'll help you determine if you want to play it. Try the game for yourself. I'm sure that a full review will be coming after I complete this game. But until then, guys, stay tuned and look out for the rest of my Let's Play series, which is in full swing on the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button for me. Maybe you can subscribe and become part of the Pledge family today and help us reach our goal of 300 subs. Thank you all so much. You all be blessed.